Welcome to Iconically Iconic.
Hello, babes. Welcome back to the channel. If you are new, welcome. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the complex, fabulous, beautiful Miss Samantha Jones. So let's get into it. Samantha Jones is fabulous, unapologetic, and always dressed to impress. She is beautiful and a fan favorite. We all loved Samantha's ability to consistently make us laugh and sometimes say the things that we wanted to say. She is a hustler and puts herself first. However, while Samantha may be one of my favorite characters, she was also selfish, inconsiderate, and secretly insecure. While many view Samantha as a secure, liberated woman who does as she pleases and says it like it is, it was sometimes a facade. Samantha had a lot of deep-rooted issues that she hid behind the guise of being free. The many partners that she had were her way to try to escape her issues, which I think was ultimately her being alone, and not being alone as in having a partner or a husband, but being alone in general. I think adults that make reckless decisions, have addictive personalities, don't have much empathy, and it all stems from their childhood, often due to neglect by either one or both parents, which is why Samantha navigated the way she did as an adult. She was a child who didn't receive much nurturing and was forced to grow up. In season 3, she made a comment about her father being a drunk and her mother being tied down with 3 children. Now, I'm not sure if Samantha was the oldest or the youngest, but what I do know is those dynamics play a major part of the person you grow up to be. Unless you get therapy, and even with therapy, you have to actively work to get over those issues, and not so much over it, but use the tools that you're given in therapy to navigate better in adulthood. And the longer you try to avoid them, the more they fester and spill out onto the people around you. The way Samantha grew up is one of the reasons she was so independent and against having children, because of what she saw her mother go through and the effects it had on her as a child. It also caused Samantha to be selfish and oftentimes only thinking about Samantha. Not in the same way Carrie did, but she was selfish as well. I do think that they were both good friends. I don't think that Carrie was a horrible friend. I know people give her a lot of flack, though selfish and whiny, but I don't think she was this terrible friend. But getting back to Samantha, like when Miranda had her baby and when Charlotte was getting married, I think those two things brought her back to her childhood in a way, and instead of her supporting her friends, she made it about herself, even if she didn't think she was making it about herself. If it was something Samantha didn't want for herself, she would make snide comments or just act as though she was above the girls sometimes because she didn't have the same commitments as them. She encouraged her friends to sleep with a married man and carried on an affair of her own with a married man and boasted about it. I feel like her sleeping with married men was her way of trying to heal that broken little girl who didn't have a father who, although lived in the home, wasn't active. In some way, she felt like she was getting that attention she didn't get at home from her father. Women like Samantha aren't as confident as they portray themselves to be. It's usually the opposite. They have to be the center of attention because it's something they didn't receive when they were younger and are crying out for someone to notice them constantly and love them. They're always with someone, be it in a relationship or just casual sex, because they're scared of being alone and getting to know themselves truly and don't want to do the work to heal. Instead, they pick up addictive behaviors to avoid getting to the roots of the problem. So let's get to how Samantha treated Miranda when she had her baby. I felt so bad for Miranda. She was already going through her own thing with being pregnant and didn't know how she was going to handle it. She was a new mom, she didn't plan to have Brady, and I'm sure she was dealing with postpartum and having to adjust to motherhood. Instead of Samantha being there for Miranda, she made her feel bad about having a baby. And something I want to point out really quick, Samantha claimed that she wasn't a judgmental friend. However, that is inaccurate. When it was something she didn't approve of, she would try to sway people to change their minds or their views if it didn't align with hers, or if she felt it was an attack to who she was as a person. She didn't judge her friends when it came to sex because that was who she was. But when it came to marriage, children, etc., she had no problem letting her feelings be known. But back to Samantha and Miranda. She was completely unsupportive and let it be known, all because she felt like it ruined her fun, and because she didn't want kids, she thought it was okay to treat her friend poorly.
You have a little man hanging from your breast. What else are you gonna do?
Eat. Clothes smell like barf. I don't have time to have a shower, much less get a haircut.
Oh, that reminds me. I have to confirm my appointment with John Mandy at the John Mandy Salon. You have no idea how hard it was to get this appointment. Hi, it's Samantha Jones. I'm calling to confirm my appointment Saturday for a cut and color with John. Thanks. Crisis averted. I'm not doing the baby talk at breakfast. I signed up for friendship, not some PC bullshit baby brunches.
Oh, you're overreacting. Brady won't happen every day.
Well, he better not.
There are grown adults like this too, who always want to party, drink, and repeat, and will shun their friends when they get married or have kids. Now, granted, that is not everyone's goal. Everyone doesn't want to be married and have children, but there is a time and place for everything, and there is a point in life when you need to grow up. Everything can be about drinking, partying, going to this club and going to that club. Even if you don't have kids, sometimes you don't want to do the party scene and the club scene. Sometimes you just want to have a girls' night in, game night, or a movie night, and just relax at home. If you're only friends with someone to party and have fun, then your friendship isn't real. Samantha made Miranda feel uneasy and as if she was no longer a part of the group because she had a child. She was behaving like a high school mean girl. And regardless of her personal feelings about having a child, you don't treat a friend you claim to love like that. And she never apologized for it. Yes, she let Miranda go and get her hair done, but only because Carrie had to tell her about her treatment of Miranda. And there is nothing that grinds my gears more than a person trying to make up with you and they've hurt your feelings, and instead of apologizing, they buy a gift or make jokes because they can't own up to what they did.
Samantha, what are you doing here?
I'm not Samantha, you are. You have a 5:30 appointment with John Mandy at the John Mandy Salon. Go.
What? I can't take your...
I'm counting to 5 and then I'm changing my mind.
Really? Mm-hmm. You want to babysit?
5, 4...
Okay.
And I know Samantha isn't the mushy, feely type of friend, but I think in this instance, she really owed Miranda an apology because she had to adjust as well. We get that you miss hanging out with your friend, but her responsibilities have now shifted. And part of maturing involves recognizing that as much as you may be against the idea of marriage or having children, some of your friends will inevitably desire those things. As their lives shift, so will the dynamics of your friendships. And as a true friend, you must learn to accept that time together will become more limited. Understanding and supporting your friends' choices, even when they differ from your own, is essential to sustaining meaningful relationships. This brings me to how Samantha treated Charlotte for the fitting of the bridesmaid dresses, which revealed a glaring shriek of selfishness. While it's true that Charlotte's marriage to Trey seemed hastily entered into, driven by her overwhelming desire to be married, Charlotte, it doesn't excuse Samantha's behavior. Insisting on altering her bridesmaid dress to be short just to suit her own preferences was a blatant disregard for the fact that this day was not about her, but about Charlotte. Weddings are significant milestones that are meant to honor the bride and groom, yet Samantha's actions suggested that she believed she deserved special treatment.
Don't you think this could stand to be a little shorter?
Samantha, all the skirts have to be the same length.
Really? What about Trey's skirt?
Undermining not only the importance of Charlotte's wedding, but Charlotte's feelings as well. Furthermore, Samantha's childish critique of the dress Charlotte chose for her wedding was uncalled for.
Half have to be a bridesmaid. I'd at least like to look good.
Well, you don't have to be a bridesmaid.
And why the hell am I here?
Frankly, I didn't want you to feel left out.
I would love to be left out. I could be in bed with a hot Scot right now.
Fine. Oh, guys, don't do this. Do what? We're just being honest.
Well, honestly, I hate this color. Hey.
Now, don't get me wrong, Charlotte at times could be passive aggressive, and her reasoning for including Samantha in the wedding so she wouldn't feel left out was less than ideal. But Samantha's response was equally problematic. Her constant need to bring up the possibility of her sleeping with someone to try and assert her independence or prove a point felt trivial and misplaced, especially in this significant moment in Charlotte's life. Samantha's behavior during Charlotte's fitting was a reminder that for all of her boldness and charm, she could also be surprisingly immature and self-centered. She was a complex character straddling the line between empowerment and sheer selfishness. And like I said, I love Samantha, but you can love someone and call out their toxic or problematic ways, like when she slept with Charlotte's brother. Samantha's decision to sleep with Charlotte's brother, who was married at the time, regardless of whatever issues they were having, he was still married, revealed a profound lack of boundaries and willingness to prioritize her own desires over the well-being of others. This wasn't just any affair. It occurred in the sanctity of his sister's home that should have been off limits, and Samantha should have had way more respect for Charlotte.
Your coffee filters? Just tell me if I'm warm.
My brother? You slept with my brother?
Oh, honey. What a doll. I mean, he really...
The situation was even more complicated by the fact that Charlotte more than likely had a relationship with her sister-in-law, making Samantha's actions not just a betrayal of her friendship, because why did you feel the need to sleep with your friend's brother? No, she doesn't own him, but girl, you have no boundaries. But yet again, sleeping with a married man. By Samantha sleeping with Charlotte's brother, I don't remember his name, but by Samantha sleeping with Charlotte's brother, she placed Charlotte in an impossible position that would have forced her to navigate the fallout from a betrayal that occurred in not just her own circle of trust, but in her family as well. Not once did she think about the aftermath of the situation. All she thought about was her attraction to Charlotte's brother, and he had no respect or couth about himself. You are a married man and you go sleeping with your sister's friend. Of all the women roaming about, you choose your sister's friend, and in her home, there was so much desperation looming about, I can't even deal. In reality, this could have had a domino effect, creating rifts within their family and straining relationships. Although the show didn't delve into the repercussions of the two sleeping with one another, it's not difficult to imagine the tension and fallout that could have arisen if Charlotte's family had been more involved in the narrative. This incident was emblematic of Samantha's tendency to act selfishly, particularly when it comes to her selfish desires. Time and time again, she demonstrated how she was willing to cross the line and disregard consequences when it came to satisfying her sexual needs. She even slept with Charlotte's doorman and had him creeping through her house. I just don't understand, like, at what point do you say, okay, this is off limits? She had this man creeping about Charlotte's house, then later on asking Charlotte about her because he didn't hear from Samantha. This is such irresponsible, selfish, reckless, sloppy behavior. What if he would have set Charlotte up? He could have done anything to Charlotte, and you brought this man into her home and left him there by herself. Mind you, she didn't even know that that man was in her home. Samantha slept with multiple married men and didn't take issue when Carrie would exhibit that same behavior. She actually encouraged it and thought it was cute. And while she believed that it wasn't her responsibility to feel sorry for the wife and her feelings, the pain that those women felt, she felt when she had fell in love with Richard, who she walked in on cheating on her. While her saying she had a reason not to trust men was true, and I'm pretty sure she dealt with a lot of pain and hurt in the past, it was also her karma. While Samantha certainly had her selfish moments, she and Charlotte were always my favorite on the show. Samantha was the perfect balance that the group needed. The funny, fabulous, and unapologetically bold one who could light up any room, even in the darkest times. When heartbreak struck, Samantha was the friend that would lift you up, reminding you of your worth and helping you move forward with your confidence. Her love and loyalty was unwavering, even if she didn't express them in a traditionally mushy way. She had her own unique way of making her friends feel cherished, often through laughter and sometimes tough love rather than sentimental gestures. Despite her moments of self-centeredness, Samantha was always there for her friends when it truly mattered. She had their backs, ready to defend them and support them at a moment's notice. She was the life of the party, the one who would turn any ordinary night into an unforgettable adventure. Yet beneath that confident exterior was a strong woman who needed just as much love and care as she gave, even if she wasn't always vocal about it. She was undeniably beautiful, always looked stunning wherever she went, and her charisma was magnetic. But beyond her glamorous exterior, she had a deep capacity for love. Once she allowed herself to open up, she loved fiercely and without reservation, as we saw in her relationship with Smith. Samantha's complexity, her blend of strength, vulnerability, and loyalty made her a truly remarkable character, one who brought joy and depth to the lives around her, and the show would have been completely different without her. I don't think the show would have been as big without her, which is why I only watched 2 episodes of And Just Like That. That being said, this video has come to an end. Let me know below in the comments below who you would be interested in seeing a video on. Don't forget to comment, like, share, and subscribe. Also, make sure your notification bells are turned on so that you always know when I upload. And I will catch you guys in the next one.